In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. What's up, my producer friends? It's David with anothermonsterproductions.com. So I actually got the idea for this video from one of my subscribers, so shout out to him. He wanted to basically know how to turn this video, which is his buddy failing at doing a backflip, into a kick sample. So in this video, that's what we're going to be doing. Now, technically, you could probably use anything to create a kick sample, but it's probably going to work out the best if you choose some sort of sound that already has a little bit of thump to it, already has some bass frequencies or some lower range frequencies going on there. In this video, I'm going to be making kind of like a hip hop kind of kick, or more of like a realistic sounding kick sample. Now, when it comes to like EDM kicks, I mean, there are so many different types of kicks. And some of those kicks are going to be easier to make when you start like layering lots of sounds together, or if you just like synthesize the kick from scratch. I mean, there are really like a lot of different ways to make a kick, but this is just one way to do it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. By the way, guys, today is actually my girlfriend's birthday, so everyone leave a happy birthday in the comments for her. That would be awesome. Back to the video. All right, so if you're going to be using like a clip just off of YouTube or like the internet or something, you're going to want to convert that into audio, obviously. So there's a really easy way to do that. There's tons of converters out there on the internet. You can just type in Google like YouTube to MP3 converter or YouTube to WAV or something, and that'll pop up. I'd recommend trying to convert it to a WAV if possible. And once you've done that, or if you're recording your own samples, you know, obviously you can just drag them directly into the playlist. You can also use Edison. I just tend to do things directly in the playlist because, excuse me, that's how I'm used to doing things. And you can kind of see this is going to be our kick. This is the failed backflip attempt there. So, and then you can just get rid of everything else. And I'm going to really zoom in here. And what I'll probably do is, just so it's not playing over and over again, just kind of highlight that. Just gives us a little bit of space. And I'm actually going to put on my headphones. Okay, so there's a couple sort of characteristics about a kick that we have to think about. One of them is the attack, decay, sustain, and release part of the kick. And we can do this really easily directly in the playlist by just creating an automation clip, just like that. And then basically we just shape it how we want it. What I would probably do is put a point right around here and then just kind of have it fade out like that. And then the other part of the kick is the actual frequency content. So what I'd like to do is kind of go in here, take a look at span, and kind of see what's going on here. So, okay, so this is kind of what we have going on in our frequency content right now. And so we actually don't really have any super like sub frequency, which I think what I want to try and do is get more of this down here and probably a little bit less of this, and then probably keep some of this higher frequency for like the click of the kick. So let's just, you know, bring an EQ on and just start messing with it. So I'll load this into my mixer track and then bring an EQ on it. And first things first, I'm going to just kind of do a little bit of a cut down there. This is I went all the way down to 20 Hertz. It's probably not really necessary because there's nothing going on there yet, but I tend to do that with my kicks because there tends to be a lot of information down there sometimes. So we're at about 50 Hertz, and I'm just going to boost this way up. And about 130, sure, why not? We'll drop this down. So let's take a listen. Get rid of this and some of this. Okay, so that's sounding a little bit better. See what happens if I add a sound goodizer on it. Sounds pretty good. Okay, I actually kind of like that. Sounds pretty thumpy. Sometimes I like to add distortion. Don't know if it's going to work for this particular kick, but we can try it. No, I don't really like that for this one. So now I'm gonna go into my channel settings and we're gonna normalize, make this audio a little bit louder. Okay, so I feel like it definitely needs more lower frequencies. Let me actually take a look at the spectrum here. Okay, so this is what we got going on. So yeah, it's looking, you know, a lot better. Still got a lot of this information that I don't necessarily want, and probably get rid of a little bit of that. So I'm gonna add another EQ on. Get rid of some of that. Boost around 50 hertz. We'll do like 55. Get rid of some of that. Get rid of some of that. This is like, yeah, right in there, like 3 point. Actually, yeah, 300 is good. And then this, it just sounds unnatural. There we go. Okay. All right, that's sounding a little bit better. So another thing we can try to do is go into our channel settings and lower the pitch a little bit. So let's try like negative 300 cents. That sounds, I kind of like that. Let's try 200. I think I like 300. What about lower? No, 300. I like 300. That sounds good. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at span. Yeah, see, that's what I want to see. I like that. And then just a little bit of that. So yeah, let's go ahead and export this kick, and then we can potentially do a little bit more processing on it. So I'm just gonna export this as a WAV file. We'll just call it back flip fail kick 1. All right, so I think that's sounding pretty decent and is kind of a good starting place. But I'm really not gonna know if this kick is actually any good until we actually load it up into a project or build a project around it. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and then we'll do a little bit more processing on it. All right, so I've got a nice little beat going on here, and basically I've just loaded up a bunch of samples and I used my backflip fail kick that we got so far. And what I'm gonna do now is actually bring this into our mixer here, and we're gonna do a little bit more processing on it. But it's actually sounding not bad. So this is what we got so far. By the way, just so you guys know, there are a lot of different ways to go about processing kicks. So you can use transient shapers, you can use compression to kind of shape the sound a little bit. You can use distortion, automation, kind of how I did at the beginning of this. But there are a lot of different ways to achieve the same sort of result. And also you could go into your channel settings and mess with these options down here to kind of shape the sound as well. So just lots of different options to kind of get what we're going for with this. But now that I have this kick loaded up in here, it's actually, because I kind of built the track around the kick, I kind of like it the way it is, but I think I could maybe get it a little bit better. So I'm just gonna try doing a little bit more processing here. And I think what I'm gonna try and do is add a little bit more EQ first. Again, I'm gonna get rid of some of that. I'm gonna try adding around 64 hertz. Maybe boost about 4 dBs. Curious to see what would happen if I put another Soundgoodizer on here. whatever. At this point, I could probably sit here and mess with this kick for like 3 hours just to tweak it and try and get it perfect. I think this is probably a good stopping point for this particular kick. So obviously, you know, not perfect. We probably want to tweak it a little bit, especially if I were making like a sample pack or something like that. I'd probably want to really get in there and make sure that this kick was, you know, as perfect as I could make it. But for the sake of this tutorial, you know, we got a decent sounding kick. If you want to turn it more into like a trap kick, maybe try adding some distortion on it. And then if you want to maybe more of a lo-fi kick, maybe try, actually it's a pretty good sounding lo-fi kick as is, but you know, kind of as I was getting rid of some of this higher information up here, I think that's probably going to be, make it sound a little bit better maybe. So again, you know, it's kind of at this stage a personal preference thing and finding what you like and what kind of matches the track that you're working on at the time for that specific kick. So yeah, man, that's it. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and also consider subscribing to the channel if you like this kind of video. I'm doing a lot of like sound design and synthesis type videos, as well as FL Studio tutorials and just production related content in general. So definitely subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video.